Welcome back to the Last Man In podcast, episode 11. I'm Greg.
Cam.
He's Dan.
Damn it.
Yeah.
You beat Greg to the punch. I was asleep.
Dick.
I said Cam.
I know,
Yeah,
but
and I said he's Dan.
I was going to say my name, but Greg beat me to it. But you beat Greg to saying...
Oh.
Do you understand what I'm
We're
trying
professionals. This is recorded on an iPhone.
This is recorded in a professional studio in an undisclosed location.
Yes.
That is
We
near...
add the dog barking.
Yeah, we have a dog bark in the background. At least it's better than like a baby crying or something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, maybe you should attend to that.
Give it like 5 years so some of us have kids that are on.
I'm not having a kid in 5 years. That means I'm going to be 28. I'm still going to be extremely irresponsible when I'm 28.
I'm not going to be living.
Wow.
You're going to be...
Hashtag bold prediction.
Right.
Hashtag bold prediction by Cam. I'm not going to be living. I hope your dad hears that. He's like, I can help you with that. Like, don't worry. He's like, come live up north with me and I'll just throw you to the polar bears.
Yeah.
Dad, there's a polar bear. Let me
No,
in.
I'm...
No, you want to die.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when my mom was up there, my dad was saying they went fishing. And then, like, everyone stopped fishing and my dad's still fishing. And then they're like, Bob, we should go. And he's like, what? They're like, polar bear. And there's a polar bear, like, across, like, the lake from where they were. And they're like, yeah, we should probably go now.
This is not a time to be fishing.
Yeah, this is the time to not be pulling away what that polar bear is looking for on a string towards you. Yeah.
Just directing him exactly to more food.
Exactly, yes.
Although I can't imagine we're that great of food to eat.
It's normal. Like,
We're
they
meat.
get meat and stuff.
I guess so.
Yeah,
Like, I've
it's
never
not
had
terrible.
humans, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, you're talking about... Oh, yeah,
Human
I thought you
meat.
meant up there. Yeah, no, yeah, humans were... I don't know.
Yeah, because up there is different.
Yeah.
It's like they don't have food.
Yeah, at all. They eat...
It's like astronaut food.
Astronaut food, yeah. So when my dad comes home, he drinks a bottle of wine, and he's like, gosh, I gotta go.
Just in flights.
Like,
Well, we're a hockey podcast.
Yes,
yeah,
we are.
Yeah, this is the first time you listen to us. We actually talk about hockey.
what did we do last night?
Oh my god! We all went to the Jets game together.
Yeah! Together!
For free.
For free! Courtesy of
welcome.
Greg's father.
Thank
you
you,
very much. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was sweet. I loved
It was
it.
an
I got a
underwhelming Jets performance.
Hey! I got to wear my new Jets jersey. I'm super happy about that.
Yeah,
I bought
Little.
it Brian Little yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Right after, I literally bought the jersey 15 minutes after my dad's like, anyone who buys a Brian Little jersey is stupid because he's not a very good player. I'm like,
He's better than some of the
Well,
jerseys I've
come
seen.
on.
well, Dad, I'm going to prove you wrong and go buy it just to piss you off.
No, you
Actually,
like it.
I've
Watch
wanted
him
a
get
Brian
shipped
Little.
out this year now, too. Just to piss Greg off.
I've wanted a
We
Brian
can get
Little.
on that later because it ties back into stuff. But
Oh no.
yeah,
Thanks.
I've
Stop.
wanted a Brian Little jersey since year one, so it's year 4 now. I finally purchased.
For
a Brian
I've been
Little
a
everyone-
Pro League jersey since halfway through last year.
That's
And-
like half the time Greg's wanted one, though.
yeah, oh, like,
Yeah,
For
my
everybody-
time is more important than
It
your
is.
time.
For everybody listening to this, too, in case you don't know, Greg's like the tallest human being I know. So for him to have a jersey that says little, kind of ironic.
Yeah, you know what? He only pointed like I just thought of the player, then Greg like walking into the arena. He's like, people might think this is like
An oxymoron.
oxymoron, kind of like a dude named Tiny. And you're like, oh my god, he's 6'8".
Well, I'm not actually 6'8".
No.
I'm like 6'5".
Yeah.
Me and Blake Wheeler could have a Who's Taller contest, and I could win that. Which is kind of interesting.
Or you could have a who's better at hockey contest. You might
Which-
not.
You could
once
have a
again,
who
I
wears
win.
the
You might
haircut
not
better
win that one,
contest,
though.
too, right? You could have he's got the Blake Wheeler.
You guys could have a toe drag contest. You might win that one.
I'll use my
I would be willing
T90
to
that's
say-
like just totally destroyed.
I'd be willing to say you'd win that toe drag contest, but
I could beat Evander Kane in a toe drag contest because he's terrible with deking.
None of the
No
Jets are very
way.
good.
Yeah.
Peluso
Well,
might be the best.
Hey, yeah, he's pretty good, but
He's got some hands.
Ehlers wasn't bad at hands.
Well, we'll touch on that.
Yeah.
So what we're going to touch on today besides...
Stuff not related to hockey.
Yeah, stuff not related to hockey. Last night's game. So if you're listening to this would have been Wednesday, September 24th's game. We're going to touch on Monday's game, which was September 22nd's game. And we're going to talk about other Jets notes, including what we think is going to happen in Saturday's game, which is September, if my math's correct,
30th.
September 27th.
Yep, you're right. My math's terrible.
Yeah, your math sucks. And then my other topic is who's going to get sent down. We can talk about that in a second. And then NHL mailbag, where we'll talk about some injuries and who we've been impressed by so far around the NHL, if you guys have watched any of it.
I already know who you guys are going to talk about.
Yeah! Joffrey.
Oh, sweet mama. No, young Leo.
Young man.
JYL. We'll call him JYL. Joffrey Young Leo. Young Leo DiCaprio. Okay, let's jump into last night's game.
I don't know who you're talking about. Last night's game, a little disappointing for the Jets. They lost 3-2 to Edmonton. The Jets' goals were scored by Gagliardi and Halischuk. Oilers' goals were Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Yakimov, not Yakupov.
What's
his
first name?
Bogdan.
Yeah.
Bogdan, yeah.
Bogdan.
Bogdan. Sorry,
Yeah,
Bogdan.
yeah.
Not Bogdan. Bogdan. Yakimov.
What are the odds they have a Yakupov and a Yakupov?
It's like having a Johnson and a Johnston.
I guess, but Yakimov and Yakupov's a little
Maybe
more
it's like
rare.
Smith
Well,
and-
maybe
Yeah,
not.
maybe it's like
Smith's
John.
a common name.
Well,
Yeah, maybe it's common out
Russia.
there.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, that's like Finland. Like, have you ever looked at any player on like coming from Finland on the national team? All of them come from this one town called Oulu. It's like Oulu. Like, seriously, 3/4 of the Finnish national team came from there. Name a good Finn. Probably from Oulu or wherever the hell that place is. I'm
Timustani.
sorry. I'm pretty sure he's from there. I'm not
Oh
kidding.
my God.
I'm not kidding. Don't quote me, but I think.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk first about
We should have probably start by saying
that we had a Jet dog last night. Oh wait, that was just me because you guys aren't true Jets fans.
They changed the hot dog.
It's way better now.
Okay.
I'm waiting for
I like
regular
it.
season. I don't step up to bat in preseason.
Yeah. First off, there you go.
Jeez.
What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say we should probably start off by saying the Jets were up 2-0.
At one-
They gave up 3 unanswered goals.
Hey,
About halfway through the game, they were winning 2-0.
good to know we got the old Jets back still. Nothing's changed. Still giving up 2-goal leads.
To
Like
be
it's-
fair,
they almost gave it up against Minnesota, which we'll touch on in a
the
bit.
3
but
goals that
they
were
almost-
scored, I mean, wasn't the goalie's fault.
No,
It was kind
I
of
don't think you can blame the goalie, but
team brain fart.
it just seemed that they hit a wall in the second period and just stopped playing as hard as they were before. They had shifts.
Seemed to me like they didn't care. Like it was.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of
Edmonton
not
were
caring.
just, like legitimately wanted to win the game. The Jets were just like, this is nice.
Let's
to be playing hockey.
play Cormier and Tangradi and Peluso, and Tangradi looked awful.
Cormier and
2/3 of that
Tangradi
line
were
looked terrible.
Horrendous.
Those guys both look lost.
Yeah.
Very lost
They
out
were
there.
chasing the play. They were struggling to make a play.
They
were
ran
fighting
into
the
each
puck
other
yesterday.
on multiple occasions.
They
Like,
were fighting the puck.
Peluso
yesterday.
looked fine. He had the puck. He was good in the corners. He had the puck. Like I don't know. To me, he looked like he deserves a spot at least on the fourth line.
Yeah, no, I think he's got that.
But the
spot
other
for
two guys, oh
Palmer.
my god, Tangradi, just send him, cut him.
You just hate him
Who
so
cares?
No, but now, like, seriously, he didn't do
No,
anything.
he was brutal.
The only time he tried was at the end of the second when a puck got dumped in because they were on for, like, the killing shift with, like, 10 seconds left to just kill time. Nothing was going to happen.
much.
And that's when he tried.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see any hustle out of
10
him.
Fourth
seconds.
line was a little weak.
Is he on a two-way
Yeah.
or one?
No,
He's on a one-way.
So
Whatever.
They
Put
can
him on
stop.
waivers.
They can put him on
Someone
waivers.
will
He
pick
can
him up.
start the season in the AHL on a one-way.
We have
You
better...
can bury his contract in the
Someone
AHL.
might pick him up though. Like, do they really need him? I mean,
They don't. I don't know if they need him. Really.
I can see why Maurice thinks Peluso. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he said he thinks he can be a better hockey player, not just a fighter.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see why he says that. He's got some skill. Like, he's not going to be a top 6 or anything, but
No, he'll be a good bottom 3 guy.
he'll be a bottom. Yeah.
He was moving the play forward when he
Yeah,
was on the ice. And
exactly.
that's what he wants.
Every team has quality fourth line, and
We need that
we need that.
to be competitive. It was the first time we got to see him in Jets jersey. What did you guys think of TJ Gagliardi?
I missed the goal,
Yeah, because you had school, so you're not involved in this.
but
What do you think of TJ
Awesome,
Gagliardi?
awesome. Like I watched him a couple times, like in Flames games last year, and I thought he's all right. But he made some stupid decisions by getting
He took 2 penalties.
2 penalties late in the game, which hurt them. I don't think they got scored on either of them.
Nope.
one of those penalties was horse shit. I'm just.
Yeah.
I know it's
interference one?
preseason.
That was the
but
interference. He was just trying to
Justin
stay
Schultz.
in. He was trying to go onside and accidentally clip the skate of the other guy.
Justin Schultz.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he took a dive.
Oh,
Well, not necessarily.
have you ever
that-
been hit with a skate in the back of your skate?
When you
just
don't
go.
know
I'm
someone
not
or-
saying he dove on purpose. I'm just saying he dropped like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, but that's because he didn't see the guy.
Well,
He
I know,
didn't do it
it's-
on purpose. I don't
Hey.
think to fall. The
Hey,
ref
horseshit
probably
happens.
looked as he
Yes.
was falling and just called it as he saw it, which
Yeah.
unfortunately it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I thought he was great. I thought he's going to look great, whether on the fourth line as a spare guy or like a utility up and down
The other thing is he's he was fine on the penalty kill, and that's
Yeah.
good to have another penalty killer on the team.
I missed the goal, so I can't really say. I mean, you guys, it was breakaway, so I mean, you guys.
Who
said it was
sent
nice.
it to him?
It was actually O'Neill.
It was.
Well, that was a nice pass right.
Oh,
it was like a flip pass right up the
Actually, O'Neill had a few really nice passes yesterday.
Yeah.
I really was impressed with his play.
Greg's scoring summary doesn't have assists, but that's fine.
That's fine.
No, he was good. He'll, in my opinion, he starts in the third line with Frolik and Perot. That's where he starts.
Okay.
That if Aliardi,
yeah,
that's going to be a pretty
and
fast-paced
1 year, two-way, $750,000 for him. That could be a steal.
Cheap.
Well, what do you expect?
He's not going to be a 20-goal guy, but he can get you 12 to 15, maybe.
Goals?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He had 20-some. How many was first year?
Yeah, but how many?
Sorry, Kane.
No, I'm saying if he can
10
pitch
to 12. 10 to 12.
If he can pitch between 10 and 15 goals, I think he's
awesome.
a great steal.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Because he'll be way more... See, anything's better than Devin Setaguchi at this point.
Okay, wait.
So... He's a definite upgrade from Devin Setaguchi, even though I think a lot of people weren't sure about that. Yeah. I think he is.
Even if
because I think the effort's there for him. Because really, if you think about it, it's a 1-year contract for $700K. If he does well this year, it's at least 100% upgrade for him. So he'll be making 1.4 next year, at least.
And even if he's on your fourth line, it's a pretty good fourth liner.
Yeah, well, considering that we don't... I think it's a consensus between the three of us that we don't see Thorburn necessarily a starter every game, and he's making 1.4.
No. He'll be fourth line, or he'll be the guy in the press box.
That's what I was going to touch on. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, because Halischuk scored the second goal. To me, he was one of the best players last night, in my eyes.
Yeah.
He's tiny. He gets
tough.
pushed around a lot, but he's also on a 2-way contract, but I would not be hard-pressed to see him
Colby agrees with you.
Possibly being being the extra forward.
Yep. I'm not against that.
He's a good defense. He's a good penalty killer.
Here's the thing. I went into the preseason, and as most people do, with high hopes for Patan, for Kosmachuk, Ehlers, Lowry, Morrissey, all these guys. So you don't necessarily pay attention to the guys you pay attention to new guys, but Halischuk coming back, I didn't, to be honest, I don't even know, I don't remember even notice it. I missed his goal yesterday.
Yeah, we all did.
But
we were walking in the concourse.
But I missed his goal yesterday, but I didn't even notice him, to be honest. But that's maybe because I wasn't.
He also
looking
ran
for
one
him.
off the bar with 2 minutes to go.
Oh, see, yeah.
His effort level was there because he's trying to make this team.
Yeah,
I think he's good enough to be.
I think
he'll be somewhere. But the thing is we have. If you think about it, we have a lot of guys that can fit into that bottom six, which gets me into my next thing, which I didn't put in today's agenda.
Yep.
Lowry yesterday. What'd you guys think?
Unbelievable.
Liked him.
Ooh, mama.
Someone raised a good point on the radio today. He looks a little, not lost, but he looks a little hesitant. And I think that he just needs to get his confidence. But he's big. He's a big boy. He's going to be a fourth, maybe third liner at best. But he's going to be a good, defensive checker, grinder.
Yeah, a trustworthy bottom guy.
Yeah.
Do we see him as this great player, or this had a couple great games, because we inside want him to succeed as much as we do?
That's what I was going to say about, regarding what the guys that we were looking for yesterday.
I would say no, and I'm going to relate this to another player, because Josh Morrissey looked terrible yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And I had high hopes for him, and he did not look good yesterday to me.
So, on my spectrum for Josh Morrissey, he didn't look
not terrible. He didn't look like an NHL defenseman.
He didn't look out of place, but he didn't do anything to razzle dazzle.
I felt what made Jacob Trouba stand out last year in the preseason was his ability to carry the play, and I don't feel like Josh Morrissey did that at all yesterday.
But is Josh Morrissey a guy who's supposed to be doing that? Is that what that's why we drafted him? And see, did we draft him to do that, or did you draft him to be kind of a quiet mid-sized defenseman, steady?
He was a first-round draft pick. I think you want him in your top 3.
Yeah, I don't think he's ready right now.
But Trouba was also he was touted for a while. Sure, he fell off a little bit at the end of his draft year, but that's only because NCAA always falls to the wayside compared to junior, because NCAA you only play max. If you go to the final, you play maybe. Or the tournament there, Frozen Four, you play maybe 46 to 52 games, as opposed to junior, you right off the hop before playoffs start, you play 70 or 68 games minimum. That's that, unless you get injured.
If you're gonna compare them, the thing with Trouba is when I watched him in preseason last year, you went, holy crap, this guy's ready to be a top 4 defenseman. You look at Morrissey, you're he looks lost.
I wouldn't necessarily say lost. Not ready to make that step
to play at that level yet.
Which I'm totally fine with taking a little bit more time on him, because it's not going to hurt him at the end of the day.
Yeah, we already have 8 defensemen signed.
We have defensemen. Klitzum played well, in my opinion.
I thought Party was awful.
Party was pretty.
What?
He was.
I thought quite the opposite. I thought Party was really good. Klitzum was awful.
Party was falling all over the place. He didn't.
He turned the puck over a lot.
It's probably rust. Like he's gonna be a 6'7" defenseman.
Yeah.
But Klitzum looked good to me. I thought he was. He's gonna be a bottom 4 defenseman or bottom 3. But I mean,
how about Hutchinson? What do you guys think of him? We saw him for a game and a half.
You know what? The 3 goals yesterday weren't. There's nothing he could do about them. One was RNH bar down top corner. Like, that's not him.
Actually, and then Schultz was bar down too, but it was like cross to top of the
2
circle.
2-on-1, right?
Yeah, 2-on-1, like top of the circle.
So I mean, he's honestly Pavlik has looked better than he has in the preseason, in my opinion.
He's also not playing against top tier guys though.
Yeah,
Minnesota didn't ice.
Didn't
ice one top line guy the other day.
No,
not one.
We'll get to that.
And we saw Edmonton's second line.
Top line.
Half
2/3
of it. RNH Eberle, there was no.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that Hall's gonna play that left? Not gonna lie, Yakupov looked
great.
I didn't think so.
Yakupov?
I never saw him.
He was invisible.
I never saw him. Yakupov, number 10. Never saw him once.
I think we didn't watch the same game at all.
Yeah?
I'm not.
Now, what are you going to say next? So you thought Draisaitl showed you something? Because I thought he was absent.
Yakupov was invisible as he's been the last 3 years in the NHL.
No, because you guys are expecting him. He got touted as a high-scoring guy. Yes, he didn't score, but he was always
first overall draft.
He was always driving the play, and he was always playing. He's worked more on his defensive side. He was great defense. Fine, he was great defensively yesterday.
A guy like that's not. They don't want him for defensive play though.
But
for me, why do you have Dallas Eakins as a coach?
But for me, I never saw him. I'm not going to say do something spectacular because maybe that's not what he's there to do. But for me, I never saw him drive the play and carry the play like I thought he would. Maybe just for me, he didn't do what I expected him to do. But also, I wasn't there watching Edmonton players, so obviously I didn't notice him that much. Because I can only probably name you about 5 times I remember seeing Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the ice.
Yeah.
Because I was more looking at our players.
They were also playing a lot more of their other guys, too. We were lining a lot of
personally, I didn't notice him.
Not like that.
I noticed Eberle and Nugent-Hopkins a lot more. Yakupov, to me, he was almost lost in the shuffle. I mean, obviously, I wasn't paying attention for him.
Yeah.
But, to me, I don't know. I don't think he's going to last the whole year there. I think he'll be...
Really? You think he'll... Well, he could get traded, yeah. I can see it being possible.
They need a defenseman or a goalie or something.
While we're on Edmonton, what do you think about Draisaitl? Because
I thought he was all right in the circle. He's a big boy.
He's a big.
He won a lot of puck battles.
In
the corners, he won almost every battle. That
he's NHL size ready. I don't think he's. I think he'll play. I think he'll make the team.
Third line center. And
he'll fill in that Gagne spot.
And they'll pit him with make the team. They'll pit him. Well, not necessarily though, but because now the new mentality with Edmonton is maybe we can wait. Maybe it's okay to wait. That's again with even Calgary, Sam Bennett. If they're gonna have a down year anyway? So what's the point of just obliterating this kid's confidence?
Well, and that's
same with Buffalo. They do that.
Same with Ehlers for the Jets.
Yeah,
he's not ready in my opinion.
He
could
back a lot.
He's gonna be a Jet, I would say next year, but I don't think he sticks around.
He has so many flashes of greatness though. You can tell that the talent is there. He's just not ready.
There's just I don't think he's there this year.
The best moment of yesterday's game was when he took on Keith Ollie and knocked him down. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Keith Ollie was coming. He's like, "No, I'm going to win this battle."
How tall?
Keith Ollie's 6'7".
Yeah, and Ehlers is what 5'9".
No, 5'11".
He's
5'11".
Yeah.
Still, that's a big difference.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Granted, it should have been a penalty because he deliberately hit the guy.
That's not a penalty.
Why would
puck is in play?
But
they're battling for the puck.
He didn't touch the puck though.
It's not a penalty. It's not a penalty.
It was awesome. Either way.
The puck is there. It's not a penalty.
If the Gagliardi interference was a penalty, then that was definitely a penalty.
Well, he just saw the guy fall down, but the puck wasn't anywhere near where the guy fell down. But no, in the Gagliardi incident. However,
Gagliardi's trying to go through a guy like this.
Gagliardi tried to go around, behind a guy to get onside and accidentally clipped his skate on the other guy's skate.
Oh, you're talking about that time. I thought the other time where he actually got the penalty.
I mean, it was...
that.
It was awesome. It was great.
It was a great hit, and it was a legal hit.
Yeah. I thought, back to just the original question, I thought Draisaitl showed he's definitely NHL size. Of course, I mean, it'd be cool. It'd be nice to see him, like, develop into, like, I think he's going to be, I eventually think he could be a top-line center. Obviously, that's going to come in time. But I think yesterday he won pretty much every puck battle that I paid attention to, that he noticed him. Of course, he probably lost them too. But he didn't look out of place in terms of size and the way he, like, at least when he had the puck, he didn't panic or anything like that. Which is what I noticed with Ehlers. It's not that he panicked, but it was pointed out to me that, like, a lot of young guys coming into the league, like back in junior, the go-to is to cycle the puck back. Or, like, turn around and cycle back, go behind the net, and restart the breakout again, which just wastes time and wastes the effort. Healers did that. He's done that in game one, or in the preseason first game against Wild, and he did it last night a bunch, too. And then just to even, like, it was on my mind. I watched, like, Mic'd Up today. Like, it just got released today on Jets.com. Blake Wheeler's mic'd up, and he was saying, you and I, we're fast guys. Never circle back. He says, rush the play. If they come at you, dump it in and go get the puck. And he says, if they don't rush you, hold on to the puck and wait for the play for come to you. He said, guys will give you space. Like, that's what he's telling to Ehlers. Because Ehlers, a few times where you're saying, like, moments of brilliance, like, last, like, 5 minutes of the game when he was on, it was, like, him, Scheifele, and I think Wheeler, or him, either way.
It was Kane, Scheifele, Wheeler line. He was the extra attacker.
Okay, well, when he had it and he was coming up, they literally, instead of passing it, he looked at, I want to say it was Kane or Scheisse, and he looked at him to pass it, and the guy literally, like, the guy, whoever it was, just said, like, head nodded, like, no, just go, because he was just clipping coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
he's definitely got the talent. He'll be there one day. I just don't think he's going to be there this year.
Not this year. I don't think it's this year. I don't even know if, like, of course, maybe the Jets should maybe give him a few games to the listen, but I don't, or the listen.
You know what's tough, though? I mean, if he's NHL ready next year, where does he go? There's only a spot right now on the third line for wing. Like, is there going to be a spot there next year? Like, what if Lowry has a good year? What if Galliardi plays well enough to stick around?
Basically...
Where does he go? They're going to have to...
Lad's done at the end of the year.
Yeah, they're not going to resign him, though?
Okay, wait. Now that we're on this here, you go.
Okay. Well, we have two left wings that could potentially not be here next year.
Well, Kane's
one of them being Kane,
up in the air.
One of them being, which we'll touch on in a bit, and one of them being Lad. Okay, I think Lad will resign. I don't see Kane being here next year.
Okay, well, how about we get into that?
Because our media absolutely hates him. No, let's just
finish up on the Wild game and then we'll get
we'll touch the Wild game just quickly.
We didn't. No, that was never.
Whatever, it's not a big deal.
What?
Well, I was just gonna say Nick Patan last night. Out of the four rookies, he looked the best to me.
Yeah, the only thing that I don't like about Nick Patan at the moment, which obviously it's rookie, you'll learn, is there was a few times I could count 4 right off the hop that, like, he had that backhand saucer pass ready, but he does what, well, me and basically all of us do. We're like, because we're not professionals or pros at it, he looked at the guy, and I could count like 1 Mississippi before he actually got the pass off, and then they just hit it down or got in front. Yeah. Which obviously that's going to come down. He's worked a lot defensively. His defensive play was really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll be a Jet too. Not this year, but he'll be.
It's tough. There's
a
lot of great talent with not a lot of holes at this point in time.
But now
if the Jets have a bad year, though, there could be a lot of holes.
Yeah, but now that we're seeing, like, it's awesome that we get to talk about this because now, I mean, sure, Chevy hasn't done much, but now the thing that he has done, allegedly, is coming to fruition in sense of, we have the option to talk about, like, more than just 5 prospects that could potentially make the team in the next, like, 3-4 years.
Yeah, it's great to see our prospect pool as deep as it is. I don't know.
I'd say there's 4. Those Patan, Lowry, Ehlers, and Morrissey, those 4, I'd say, are the ones that are probably going to make it in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Anyone else at this point I can't really see, but you never know.
Yeah. Oh, which I guess I'll touch this right now before we, like, move on. Scott Kosmachuk. I thought... Okay, Dan, hold on. I thought he was fast. Maybe it was just like...
No. I thought he was promising.
He didn't look very impressive yet. Maybe he's having an off week or something. But
maybe something sore.
Did he play preseason last year?
No.
A few games, maybe 1 or 2.
He did not look that good today.
I mean, I'm sure. Like, you guys think he's? I mean, I don't know, but I've never heard or seen anything that shows he's going to be anything promising.
Well, he did lead the OHL in scoring last year. Nope, that's a lie. He led the OHL champs team in scoring last year. which is still 101 points, 49 goals.
He didn't look.
He's good, but
he gets knocked around.
he was a little slow at times.
Yeah, definitely.
Trade bait.
Lots of growth still to be
Yeah.
seen in him. Like, it's not like this guy, he's at his peak now. There's still lots of growth there.
Yeah.
And the great thing is we see what the team's going to look like in about 7 years, and there's a lot of promise there at this point in time.
Sweet mama.
Not like,
So.
but if you think about it, all those guys are going to be in their prime in 7 years.
Yeah, but
Wow.
it's rare that you keep all your prospects.
No, I know
Right
it's rare.
now we have 4 guys. That's a lot of guys to fit in your lineup. When the Jets have Wheeler, Bogo, Little, all on long-term deals. Shifley and Trouba are going to be on long-term soon.
It's a good problem to have.
Buff still got 2 years left.
Yeah,
Like
there's a lot of talent
Buff
there.
was up this year. For
after next year.
Yeah,
He signed a 5-year extension the year the year before they moved.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Year before they moved.
Like the last season in Atlanta, he signed it like close
5
to
years.
the end.
So
it
that
kicked
means
in-
it's
5 years in
yeah,
Winnipeg
okay,
is what his
So he has
contract
1 year. Like next year will be his.
Yeah.
is this year and next
Perfect.
year.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk Monday's game quickly. 2-1 win for the Jets. They had 2-0 lead again. Almost collapsed.
Gave up the
in
goal
the last
with like
minute
13
left.
seconds left.
Yeah, but they
was
were
a
collapsing with about 3
It was
minutes
a
left.
blown coverage. So
Yeah.
Toby left the guy wide open. And
But just
Bogo
quick,
chased the guy around the net, and Toby left the other guy wide open.
goals were Little and Buff, and the wild goal was by Grayovac.
Very fitting that the Jets' first preseason goal was Buff a laser from the point.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna
Top
see
corner
that.
laser.
If there's one promising thing about this upcoming Jet season, which it might not be very promising, is that at least like half of Buff's goals come from lasers from the point. And you know what? Those are one of my, as much as I love seeing like a Datsuki and Deke or like a breakaway that like just he dekes the pants off the guy, or like a TJ Gagliotti goal like last night. Slap shots from the point where you just see the mesh go boom.
We don't have,
just
the Jets
just
don't
out.
really have any dangle guys. They have snipers and power forwards, and
That's it.
Well, maybe,
Ugly goals.
maybe Ehlers is that guy in the future.
He could
right?
be.
General
For now.
thoughts on the game, just quick.
you know what? They played well, but considering who Minnesota dressed, that's kind of embarrassing. They only beat them 2-1.
Yes, I'm with Dan on that.
They didn't.
The Jets dominated the game. They played well, but I mean, come on, like geez,
Sure, we didn't have our top line, but if our top line was playing against them, I don't know if that score would have been any different. Allegedly, our top line being Kane, Shifes, Wheeler. Sure was their first game playing together, but they didn't impress me at all yesterday.
Last night?
The line that impressed me the most was Lowry, Gagliardi, and who's the extra? Halishchuk. That line was awesome.
It
That was great.
No.
Well,
It
he
wasn't
moved the
Halishchuk?
lines around.
Yeah, because
a lot.
Lowry was center last night.
No, Kosmachuk was on that line.
Well,
Because
hey,
it was Patan. It was Patan, Ehlers, Halstrad.
Fine.
That
whatever.
line,
That
Patan,
line was
Ehlers,
3-2.
Halishchuk was the
Yeah.
best line.
Well, my favorite line to watch was Lowry, but that's because I'm like getting real optimistic about Adam Lowry,
Yeah.
which again is
Cam turned on him and like, that's that fast. You were like, last week, and now you're like, nope.
Well, that's because see on paper, I was like, well, maybe, but then we saw it, and you just see every time he goes into the corner, he like jams a stick, like throws a hit. No matter he gets a hit every shift,
You know
which
what
is great. I love that.
You know what I have noticed about the Jets though? They're small. They got a lot of small guys.
Oh,
Like
they're
they get
tiny
pushed
guys.
around a lot.
Patan and Morrissey are their only small guys that I know.
Frolik, Halishchuk,
Ehlers?
Perot,
Oh.
Ehlers, Morrissey,
Yeah.
Toby. Like they got a lot of tiny guys. Like they got the muscle. They got Peluso and they've got Thorburn and Bufflin and Bogo and Stewart and Wheeler's a big
Oh,
guy.
so you're saying that 5 guys on their team are small, but the rest of the guys are big?
Okay, no, he's saying that, but those 5
little
guys,
small lads not that big.
Okay, he's saying
But
that,
they're not. They're able to hold their own. They're not small
They
guys.
get pushed
They don't
around
play
a lot,
small.
though.
Okay, sure, maybe they don't play small, but I'm agreeing with him in terms of, like, when it comes to it, like, we played Minnesota and we played Edmonton. Those guys, like, Minnesota and Edmonton aren't known for being big, and we're getting knocked around by those guys. So,
Especially
what's
last
going to
night.
happen when we play a team like San Jose, who's perennially, like, the top
How
5
many?
biggest teams?
What was the average age that was on the ice last night? 21, maybe.
I know, but still.
But those guys are going to get pushed around by guys who are 6'7", like Keith all the flipping time.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Last night, guys like Wheeler and Party were flopping all over the ice when they got pushed. Like that's like they're big guys. They should be able to hold their own.
But Party dances when he's on the ice because he's too stupid to do
he's
anything.
having an Adam party. Leave him alone.
Just leave him.
He was
And
awful yesterday.
They have to get some aggression and they have to get some confidence in their game because it's not
But
there.
it's preseason. The fact that we're
I know. I'm just
dissecting
saying
the
it's-
fact that the guys are falling down.
But
as
that's
much as
why we're doing it, because if it's happening in preseason, if we're
But
letting
it's
it get away in
rust.
preseason,
Every good
It's
championship
rust.
team has confidence. The Jets don't have any, and
because our media just trashes them.
Well, media is one thing.
I know you're you're defending the Jets, but like when bad things
I'm
happen,
not criticizing them. I'm just saying
Bad things happen. Everyone just gets on them like that, and
We all do.
no one in the NHL has confidence in this team. That's the problem. Anyone on the outside looking in looks at the Jets as a bottom 5 NHL franchise right now.
Well, why? What would you point as to why they wouldn't be a bottom 5 then?
There's too much potential talent on the Jets team to be bottom 5.
They are
but potential isn't.
No, not even potential. There's too much talent on that team. Name
Way
me,
too much.
There was how many guys that had 50+ points last year for this team? 4, 5? There was 3 teams last year that didn't even have a 50-point guy.
Didn't even have a 40-point guy.
All we need is goaltending. That's the only thing that is.
Scoring doesn't necessarily get you.
I'm not saying
championships.
it does.
New York Rangers' top goal scorer last year, or points leader, was Mats Zuccarello. He had 59 points.
Yeah.
And they went to the Eastern Conference Final.
On a goaltender. That's the only reason why they were there.
So
Best
they got
goalie in
there.
the league, probably.
But they got there.
No, I know. But we need a goalie. But everyone just doesn't even think we have the offensive talent.
Oh, God.
No one thinks there's talent here, and that's why there's so much negativity.
Okay, we finished. I'm just going back to last year. We finished last in our division. We didn't add anyone. Realistically, swap out Perreault. Besides age, nothing happened to our team.
I'm not saying anything, but
so
they feel they have the formula here.
It goes back to the point. Like, in my opinion, if you took the roster the Jets have, you put it together with a good system and had good goaltending, they'd be a playoff team. They're talented enough with what they have. I'm not saying they're gonna make it, but they have the pieces.
They have the pieces there, and everyone's
what do
always
you
down
want?
on them all the time.
You have a 70, 80 point guy right now. You have
in what?
Wheeler.
He's never hit 70 points.
Okay, it's 69. Sorry.
So 60 to 70 point guy, because he's never hit 70.
He's trended up every year he's been here.
Okay, fine. We'll say he gets.
You have a guy.
Kane
hasn't scored 50. He has the potential to score.
I don't think he has the potential to score 50. I think that's
40. I'll say 40.
I think he can score 40, but he has to be healthy, and he has to not get shit on by the city that he's playing in.
He also doesn't shy away from media. Which
I know.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but he does it on purpose. He does it to get a reaction.
Yeah,
why wouldn't
Trouba or Scheifter?
Trouba could be a potential Norris Trophy winner.
Yeah.
Like, Bogo should be one of the top 15 defensemen in the NHL with just the potential of what he's supposed to bring to him. Like,
maybe it's because
Scheifele could be one of the best two-way forwards in the NHL.
Maybe it's because we were touted.
Dustin Byfuglien, for all the crap he gets, he's one of the best power forwards in the entire league.
He's an anomaly. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay, can we just move on from this topic? Get into Kane quickly, because we're not short of time. I just want to make sure we can get to everything today without running too long.
Okay, well,
I think the Jets have pieces. They just have to put it all together.
But that's what we say. The pieces are there, so it's Maurice's job to put them together now. And what he needs is he doesn't need everyone shitting on him every 2 seconds saying that what they're doing is wrong. Because these guys are executives. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, but he's also pumping. Maurice is saying these things, feeding the media, and then they ask him the questions that he feeds them with. So, like, I don't get, like, you're getting...
How is Maurice fueling anything?
What is he feeding to the media?
Well, he's saying that, we're going to turn this team around, we're going to do this
Yeah,
and that.
because
and
the
then
team
they ask
is
him, what are you doing with this team?
Do you want him to say we're going to be mediocre for the next 10 years?
He came here and the team had no system. They were down on themselves.
The media only asks him questions, and then they
So you're saying after last year there was no need to turn the team around mentally
they didn't do
physically?
anything to the team from last year. It's the exact same team. They added Matthew Perreault, which is 9 years younger, same point total. So the only thing they did to this team, like literally, is Matthew Perreault. That's all they did to this team.
Okay.
So you're telling me the mental state of this team is not any different?
They wanted Noel gone, so they stopped playing. That's how I look at it. So that's why they got pumped by Blue Jackets.
That was also a media fabricated theory, again.
Okay, so you're saying they just started sucking ass out of nowhere? No.
I would agree he needed to go, but I would agree that it was because he wasn't coaching them properly. I wouldn't say that.
I felt he didn't know how to handle what players have.
I don't think the players legitimately said, we're going to stop playing so you get fired. There's too many guys that play with pride on the Jets for that to happen.
Yeah.
They're not a whiny, bitchy group of players. They have quite a bit of pride for who they have in that locker room. They have the odd guy that's questionable. Kane, but...
clearly we won't resolve this topic. We're just going to argue it for hours, and it's
the media fuels media. They create controversy because that's what people like to read. So I mean, not everything that is put out there is
fine then. I will not be shocked if the Jets finish in the bottom 5 at all. Not one bit will I be shocked because I don't think we can. The only team I think we can beat in our division, Nashville, maybe. That's it. It's the only team I think we can beat.
The thing is we're playing in the West, which is a much strong. If we're in the East, we're in the playoffs. Period.
Yep.
Yeah, but any East team, or like say if an East team who's like amazing, be like, oh, if we're in the West, we'd be third place and then get a more favorable matchup or anything like that. Like you can use that. Any team can use that.
The East teams can't use that because they wouldn't be in the playoffs in the Western Conference.
I would honestly say there might be 6 teams that are better.
Let's use your own argument. We didn't make the playoffs and we were in the Southeast, so there's that argument gone.
There was a time last season
from the time we were in the Southeast.
There was a time last season when the top 10 teams in the league, there was one Eastern team.
Are we good enough to compete with the We've said it all along. In the last 3 years, what has been the trend? We played to the ability of the team we're playing against.
Yep. We saw that last night.
Exactly. We play shitty against the bad teams. It's about making those games that are kind of must-wins. Like, anytime we play Edmonton, Calgary, Nashville, we have to win those games. We have to be better in our division. There's no way we can be as bad as we were last year in our division.
No.
And the thing is we were... Okay, there was us in Detroit that made the transition. Much easier transition for Columbus and Detroit to move to the East because they less points to get in the playoffs, and they both made the playoffs because they're both built for the West. So we're the only team that made the hard transition of going from the Eastern Conference, which is a lot easier and a lot less toughness to go through, going to the West Conference. No one looks at that debate and thinks that that's anything to be talked about. Because if you compare the two conferences, the West is a lot tougher to go through than the East.
And because they're more physical.
Just to what Greg said, the Jets, when they play at Chicago, they play at Detroit, they play at Pittsburgh, they play... Okay, I'm
not always Chicago, but yeah.
But like teams like that, they play up to that level. They but when they play the Islanders, the Panthers, the bottom feeders, they get dragged down and they lose those games because they assume it's in the bag. That's not a personnel change problem. That's a mentality and coaching problem.
Yep.
That's what the Jets need. They don't need to go out and ship a bunch of guys out and bring in all these new guys. They need a winning mentality and a winning hockey system with the personnel that they have. Mm-hmm. If that doesn't work, then kick some guys out because clearly what you have won't work. But until you've given that a shot, which is what they're doing this year, I don't see how shipping guys out would change anything. Might, but it might not.
I think if you look at this team and you compare it to a lot of teams in the league, sure, we don't have that bona fide superstar yet, but we haven't had all these pieces together for long enough to notice how good these guys can be. How long did Kane, Trice, and Wheeler play together last year?
5 games or something?
Yeah, 5-6 games. Huh. What was the team's record during that time? Pretty damn good.
There was a stat. They played 4 games together before Shifes got hurt, and they combined for 12 points in those 4 games.
So 3 points each? 4 points each.
4 points each.
So a point a game.
Yeah.
All of them. That's pretty good.
It's not bad. It's pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah.
What was I going to say?
So then you have that on top of a Lad Little Wheeler, or Lad Little Frolik, or Lad Little Buff, whatever you want to do. Mm-hmm. You have that line.
I'm not disagreeing that. I'm just saying.
So I'm just saying, in that sense, sure, our top line isn't star-studded yet. But there's so much... Okay, you have Wheeler, who's a 40 or 60-point guy. Mm-hmm. You have Kane, who has a potential to score 30 goals and has. And then you have Scheifele, who we haven't even seen a full 70-game season out of because he got hurt last year.
And he had 42 last year.
And he was buried in the third line for part of that year last year when he was under Noel. He was playing with Halstruck and Frolik for most of the year. Once he moved off that line and played with guys like Kane and Wheeler, you saw how much talent he had. And then once he was gone, and you saw how the team dipped.
I heard this today before he got hurt. Like when he got hurt, he went in 32 games. He went 27 points, and then he got hurt. Yeah, so that's almost a point a game for almost half a season.
Yeah. So I think that we shit on them too much because they don't have the Getzlavs or the Perrys. But we have the Scheifeles and the Kanes and the Wheelers who have the ability to be those guys. And I just don't think the NHL sees it. And that's my problem. I think we're the underdogs.
The media doesn't see, to the media, Blake Wheeler is a second-line hockey player. To the media, Dustin Byfuglien's not useless.
Yeah, he's useless and
fat. To the media, like none of these guys are any good.
But I think in 3 years, I think we're the only team Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, Winnipeg media, it's a little more positive, but if you read any article about the Jets written by somebody outside of Canada, outside of even Canada, and they talk about the Jets, they're like, oh yeah, the Jets' best player is Andrew Ladd, and I'm just like,
no. Okay, we got to move on from this, but I'm going to make one last point. I think we're the only team in the NHL in the last 3 years that doesn't have, or that hasn't had a game stolen them, has a goalie stolen them a game. I think we're the only team because I don't think Pavlik has done it.
No, Montoya stole one last year.
Okay.
No, but
starting goalie starting one.
Yeah, and I think that needs to change this year. And I think if he doesn't do it, then Pavlik's gone. And I think that's the biggest change we have to make. No, we got to move on.
This is one quick comment, but if you take the Jets team they have right now and you take, I don't know, I'm just going to carry Price goaltending numbers and put that on our team.
It's a playoff team.
They're a playoff team in our division.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the goalie is the biggest problem, and I think that's what they need to fix in the offseason. They didn't. Okay, so let's talk about this. To continue about media, let's talk Kane trade rumors, storyline again, of course, because it always happens. Sportsnet article says that Kane breaks the mold of being a humble hockey player because we all want our hockey players to be humble. So Cam, maybe make some notes on that, because I know you read it too, and I read it.
Oh yeah, no, it was written by Sportsnet. Not that anything's bad. They'll be writing a ton more articles because they own most of the rights.
I was very happy with the article. I thought it touched on a lot of points.
Yeah, it was just saying he basically Evander Kane he was saying, oh well, I've moved. Everyone grows up. Sure, I've said things in the past, and it's would I change? He basically said would I change it? No. Do I stand by my words? Yeah. He's a prideful guy. He as we all are, but he won't back down from he's sure, what 20-year-old, I was excited that I won money, so that's the way I expressed it. What kid wouldn't do that? It's kind of sad and sucks that it got spun, so it's oh, how dare you have fun while you're technically off the job, in terms of, because that was during the lockout that
I would agree with Kane 150%. Every little thing he does gets twisted, scrutinized, and he gets shoved back in his face. Now, no matter what he does.
Here's the thing that I don't like. Is then Kane turns around and spins it to be race. It's not race.
No,
it's character. But the thing is I don't think any three of us or anyone listening to this, if you won, let's just put a number out there, $10,000 and you had a Twitter account, you would tweet that out. I'm not going to lie. I would do it. If you won $10,000 in Vegas.
Last night, 50-50.
Yeah.
Even if we split it 4 ways, we each just won $6,000. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and we're going to tweet that. We're not going to tweet that.
I have to say one thing. Has there ever been a direct quote video of Kane saying something that bad or doing something that...
No.
It's
all spun.
It's always, oh, Kane said this in an interview, or the media saying, oh, there's a picture of Kane doing this. It's never been from his mouth directly from him.
Now,
I think the media don't like him, and I'm sure he plays it up and says things just because he knows that.
I don't think it's a media doesn't like him. I think the media... No.
Media makes Winnipeg not like him.
Fatso does not like him.
Okay, that's
the media. Gary Walrus.
Cam hates him too. He's just being nice.
I like Gary Lawless. I don't mind his articles.
I don't know. When you read in the first year that he doesn't think the Jets will last more than 5 seasons in Winnipeg, that's kind of a done. I'm done with you.
Do you know why? The thing I don't like about his articles is he spins a lot of things and he pulls a lot of headlines out of thin air. And then people jump on, stick to it. That's what I don't like about him. He kind of,
Okay, well, to finish up on this Kane thing then before you go off this. Evander Kane, basically, at the end of the article, they asked him, straight out, they said, do you like playing in Winnipeg? And pretty much in every interview, he says, I like playing in front of fans who cheer for me and support me playing hockey. And at the last line of the article was, time after time again, we've given him the chance. He won't say it.
Yeah, no.
He has said it. He said it last week in the Free Press. He said, I'm happy to be a Winnipeg Jet, and I can't look forward to the season.
Now.
It's always
but that was after
now.
Game 1, he still wouldn't even say it. It was written last night, the article.
The thing is that he won't... I don't think he does. I honestly don't think he does, because it's... How nice is it to go to work, go try as hard as you can, because Kane's a guy that does not... He may seem that he takes a night off. I think he's got too much pride to take a night off because he thinks he's one of the best players in the NHL.
Yeah.
He's got that mindset to be one of the best players.
To me, Evander Kane seems like a guy where these are the places for me that would come to mind only just solely based off what I guess the media has spun to me would be where Evander Kane would like to play. not just because of their records or anything. I'm just saying the city and the town and the first team I'm going to name, they're defending cup champs, but not because of the team. But I could see him in like a team like LA or like Anaheim, New York, Philly, like big cities.
He's gonna go
like, sure they adore him, but he can also get away. Where like sure it's not just like Winnipeg or like surrounding area 1 million. Like where it's like those towns have like millions of people living in them. Where sure he'd still be a superstar, but on his day off he can go do things. And don't worry, and he could tweet and not have people be like, "Oh my God, you did this."
This has been going on for 3 years. If he really didn't want to be here that badly, he would be gone by now.
No, I think the Jets are looking for a fair return, and that's why they won't get it.
I think,
and they had serious talk. This is from this same
Bob
article
McKenzie.
From Bob McKenzie. Exactly. They gave a link in the article. Like apparently, Winnipeg and Flyers had serious talks about Evander Kane. He doesn't know where the fallout came from, whether it was Philly. Or
I would assume that Philly didn't want to give up what the Jets were asking for him.
Well, Jets aren't gonna say, we'll take this.
They want 2 top 6 forwards for Kane.
Why? Because he's one top 6 forward who's had one good year. Like this is what I could see from the Flyers. If I doubt they'd want to do this. It'd have to be cap wise. It'd have to be because Kane's going to be making I guess 6. It'll be Wayne Simmons, Braden Shen, and fair return probably a first pick. Like a first-round pick. Just money-wise, it had to be at least Simmons.
Just theoretically for that deal, at the like right now, might be okay. In 3 years, that's a terrible deal for the Jets.
Why is it terrible?
I don't think so.
But we're talking
you're getting
a possibility.
You're getting Shen's second line at best.
Yeah, so is Wayne Simmons. Power forward.
Second line, we have Buff.
We won't have Buff. Buff is up in 2 years. He'll usurp Buff.
But can I tell you guys where I think...
Yeah.
I'm going to go with dark horse here.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll go to Vancouver.
Go home.
Go home.
For what?
What's his name from Bo Horvat.
And that's it.
I think that's
not
a
top 6 right
so
now.
you want to trade a guy who is?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, but that's because I like two-way forwards.
I'm not okay with giving
sent to us Eddie Lack. Bo Horvat, Eddie Lack.
So a backup goalie and a guy.
How do you know he's a backup goalie?
How do you know Kane's going to be the superstar? We're talking possibilities. No, but that's what we're all arguing about right now. Is potential possibility.
I'd do him for a proven number one goalie.
But he's not worth the proven number one. Then we'd have to send Trouba that way too.
Like the goalie market for a number one goalie is
hard to trade for a goalie because you pretty much have to give up a goalie to get a goalie.
So there's a surplus because they also have Jakob Markstrom there, and if you give them Kane,
but we saw how well having those two guys split the load worked for Vancouver last year. They missed the playoffs because of it.
I don't think that's they had key injuries to key players.
The Jets
didn't have Edler for half the year last year.
The Jets had their chance with Corey Schneider. That was they should have jumped all over that.
Hold on, everyone got shafted on that Corey Schneider deal in terms of. Did you see the video? We talked about this before, but the video of the draft 2 years ago when that deal got announced, they cut to they had a feed on Craig McTavish. He literally looked like someone just told him oh, you could have won the lottery if you would have tied your left shoe first today. It looked like he was talking to a ghost. Because at the time, I'm pretty sure it was going around that they offered Sam Gagner first pick and Sam Gagner first pick, and I think Yak or some crazy deal for just Schneider, but Vancouver wasn't going to make that trade because it's same conference. Yeah. They didn't want to do same conference. They want to get it.
I think it's too hard to say about Schneider, but I think he's going to. I don't see any reason why Eddie Lack can't be a good goalie.
Yeah. Well, here, we'll move on to this. I read off thehockeywriters.com, which is I don't know. I think they write interesting articles. They wrote 30 bold predictions for 30 NHL teams, and they gave each NHL team one. Actually, it's a pretty good article. I'll tweet out the link from my Twitter, and then I'll get it on there somehow. For the Jets, their article, unrelated to this came out a month ago. The 30 for 30. They said bold prediction. Obviously, not all of them going to be correct. None of them could be correct. Kane, they wrote Evander Kane will not finish the season, and strong contender for him to trade to would be Flyers. And then for the Flyers, their prediction was they're going to have 3 30-goal scorers, and they will not make the playoffs. And
who's the 30 goals besides Giroux?
Voracek. He scored last. And then Simmons was 2 away from getting 30 last year.
Yeah, it's there.
And Simmons
don't
only
think
plays
that-
power play time, but he does get a lot of goals.
I think
At Elijah
Simmons.
Giroux.
I think if he took away who he plays with, I don't think he'd be quite as
Well,
good.
he's second line. He doesn't play top line.
he's a
So
good
he only
player.
gets to play.
Yeah, but he plays
Giroux.
power play with those guys, so I mean.
Yeah, but
I think Simmons is a good player.
I think
He's
he's
good, but.
And then to touch for Greg there, Leafs, they said it's very possible that the Leafs could have a disastrous first half of the season and have Carlisle fired.
Good.
And all coaches are under intense heat when they're this season because Dan Bylsma is looking for a job. And they said Dan Bylsma will come in second half of the year, lead them to the playoffs. Wings, the prediction was their streak would end. He said their old guys can't bear the load anymore. Their young guys they'll get back in the playoffs fast enough, but their young guys aren't good enough to just lead them. And especially because Datsuk is out for that's a lie. Is it 3 to 4 weeks?
It's 4 to 5.
4 to 5 weeks shoulder. There you go. Oh yeah. And then just speaking of injuries, the Kane, Jordan Stahl broke his leg out how many?
No, that was part of the mailbag, Cam.
No, I know, but we're leading right into it.
No, we're not. We're not done with the Kane thing yet.
No, I know we're done. We're done the Kane thing.
Okay,
I think we all kind of think.
Fine. Hurricanes. Jeff Skinner. They think Jeff Skinner's gonna be the top points guy, and it's gonna become Jeff Skinner's team because this. Not that Jordan Stahl isn't, but Eric Stahl's getting old, and it's time for Jeff Skinner to fully evolve into what everyone thought he could be.
He's kind of regressed though from his rookie year.
Well, yeah, but he still had. He had how many points last
He
year?
gets buried in Carolina. Like, how often do you hear about Carolina now that we don't play them?
Well, there's a reason they don't have much.
They've won a cup. So I'd say that's pretty good.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying right now, they don't have much.
Okay, wait. So, all right. Anyways, that was the 30 bold predictions. You got any words for any of the teams? Just a quick team.
Those ones, I don't think. I think they're all going to be wrong.
All of them wrong.
I think the Philadelphia 30 goal scorers, but
okay, never mind. The Philly one, yes. Detroit will make the playoffs.
No, I think they end. I wanted them to end last year.
Datsuk and Zetterberg missed almost half the season last year, and they still made it with their young guys. So.
Yeah.
And they have one of the best goalies in the league. Not top 5, but he's top 10.
I would say top 10, Jimmy Howard.
Jimmy Howard.
I don't even know.
I'd put him in top 10 just because I can't think of 10 goalies off the top of my head that are better than him.
He had 13 shutouts 2 years ago.
That's true.
He also was on the league.
He also had Nicholas Lidstrom.
Yeah, but
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Kane, I'm not saying he's gonna be here, but I can see him still being here next year.
Okay.
If that line is a bona fide number 1 line, he's sticking around.
Another thing about that Kane trade rumor article and the 30 for 30, they both had in there
Philadelphia.
Not just Philadelphia, but they also had. This is also pending on. This is the first time, arguably, in Kane's career, going into the season, that he's going to be playing with guys somewhat, or
around
even
his skill.
around his, who can keep up with him and around his skill. So that is also dependent on if he has a good season. That's what the Jets want. They want him to be happy. So obviously, that's what they're going to do.
Well, I'd say he's playing with. Well,
it's an improvement on year 1 where he was playing with Antropov and Wellwood.
He's playing with a guy who, in my mind, right now is better than him. He's playing with a guy who is not as good as him right now,
but can keep up.
But Scheifele can keep up.
Yeah. Oh, that was a fun.
And Wheeler's probably a little bit better than him.
That was a fun quote from Wheeler, like first training camp. How they interviewed him and they're like, "Oh, are you excited to play with Scheifele and Kane?" He's like, "I think this is the first time in my career that I'll be playing with guys that I have to keep up to." And then Brian Munz was on the side and he's like, what are your thoughts on that? And he's like, gonna be different. I'm usually the one to skate it into the zone and command the play, but it might be nice. I might get to get open a little more." And like he was
That's gonna be a fast line.
Yeah, they are. They were fast yesterday.
They didn't look that great yesterday, but that's
first line though, for first time playing together.
Yeah.
And I guess
they looked good in the first. Apparently, I mean, I wasn't there.
To move on from here,
yeah,
because we are getting close to that.
Yeah.
We don't need just quick touch on. They play Minnesota Wild on Saturday, September 25th.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, who would you like to see in the lineup that maybe we haven't seen yet in the lineup that you'd like to see? And for me,
I think they should play Patan, Morrissey, Ehlers, and Lowry. I mean, why not?
I would say this would be, personally, give Scotty Kosmachuk one last look, and if not, back to Junior.
Okay. The guys that I'd like to see would be Connor Hellebuck. And
It'd be nice to see some of the younger goalies play.
Okunura, or whatever his name is.
Who was that guy last night? That Thomas kid. Did we find out?
Denny Taylor, or whatever his name was?
Yeah.
I don't know where he came from.
Yeah.
I haven't found his origin.
I'd like to see Stewart play because he hasn't played yet.
Yes, I can see Stewart play.
Yeah, he's
Slater might play. I could see Slater playing.
Yeah.
So that's that.
I honestly play the young guys. Like who don't play? Like you already know.
No, you don't need to play your.
You already know who your top 6 is.
It's part of conditioning.
No, I understand
you need to get
that,
into game situation. It's tough to make game situations in training camp.
I say my opinion. You play the younger guys. You kind of whittle it down, and then the last 3 games you get what you think's going to be your lineup and get them going for the season. Well, so they have a few games under their belt.
The only issue I have with that, as we segue perfectly into my next topic, playing. I know, right? Yeah. For such an angry episode, we need to be a little bit more lighthearted here.
I can feel the cloud.
Oh God, there is so much anger in this room right now.
Go ahead.
Let me just open the door and let some of that anger out as we reach into the NHL mailbag.
You guys. I'm not angry.
Okay, so injuries so far in this preseason is a story, and that's one of the things why I don't want the Jets playing all their top guys in the preseason, because I don't want anyone getting hurt. So, to round out the list of guys who are already hurt, Drouin, who I think we consensusly picked as not, but a few of us picked him.
Going to be one of the top prospects.
He'll be one of the finalists for Calder.
Okay, 3 to 4 weeks with a fractured thumb. Brendan Perlini of the Arizona Coyotes suffered a broken hand in training camp, so he's going to get sent back down to Red Deer.
Niagara.
Not Red Deer. Another red and black. There's too many red and black teams in the CHL, okay?
Classic. It's good colors.
I know, it's great colors.
Yeah.
Except on Calgary. Because they're shit.
That's not weird, eh? Yeah. Primarily red, not black.
Yeah, well, they're primarily red and yellow, which...
Good joke. Continue, please.
Datsuk out 4 to 5 weeks to separated shoulder. Jordan Stahl originally had no timetable for return from a broken leg, but now we found out that it's 3 to 4 months because it needs surgery. And Derek Stepan, 4 to 6 weeks with broken tibia, right?
I thought it was fibula.
Fib.
It was a fibula.
What's
Is
that
tibia
one?
the worst one?
Tib's bigger bone.
Tib's the top one, right?
He'd be out. No, that's femur.
That's femur.
Tib and fib are beside each other, but the tib's like this big and the fib's like this.
Yeah, for you guys out there that don't have visuals, because we're not a visual podcast, about 3 inches versus about 1.5 inches.
Would that be right?
Sure. It varies with people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who would be his replacement in They Are Up a Creek?
So he's our number 1 center, right?
What?
Ryan Malone. He's not a centerman, though.
No, he's a left winger. Matt Zuccarello, maybe?
Is Stepan a centerman?
Yep.
First line, I think. Yeah, I think he plays with Nash and I was gonna say Gabrick, but Gabrick's not there.
Oh, yeah, because I guess Richards is gone now. Eh?
Yeah, they have no one.
Oh, they're in trouble.
I don't think they'll be back in the Cup final. That's just my opinion.
No. Last year was an anomaly.
They can thank Carey Price for not.
The Eastern Conference final last year was a double anomaly.
Yeah.
I don't think either of those teams are that.
Yeah, it's because the East was so weak.
But the playoffs, once again,
but they both have great
it could be emotion and momentum swing, and hold on, Lucic can thank Montreal, or he just fueled the fire as to Montreal. They were like, oh, we're just going to start playing like Milan Lucic.
Yeah, but they
playing Boston way.
Montreal made it that far 4 years ago, and then the next year they were abysmal.
So, players that are mentioned on their roster, on the New York Ranger roster, who are centermen: Derek Brassard, Matthew Lombardi, JT Miller, Dominic Moore, Chris Mueller.
Oh.
Who goes top line?
That first Brassard.
Probably Brassard probably Brassard.
Lombardi, you want to throw him back in the fire?
I think Kreider can move over to center because I know for fantasy at least last year.
Couldn't they move Rick Nash to center?
No, I don't think so.
Nash wasn't good last year.
No, he
I
wasn't.
was going to say wasn't bad, but I'm like, no, that's a word I'm looking for.
Other note, quickly, as we're actually close to wrapping up.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. The Wild signed, I don't even know his first name.
Darcy Kemper.
Yep. 2
that
years,
happened like
2.5.
right after we finished.
Literally, we finished last podcast. We're like, hey, guys, Kemper got signed. Oh. Guess we can't talk about that now.
No, we cannot. Mm-hmm.
So we'll end on this note. What rookie, or what player, I guess, NHL-wide, have you guys liked so far, if you guys have watched highlights?
I haven't watched. I've only seen the Jets games, so...
Some NHL fan you are.
Just kidding. No, if you have one that
out of the Jets, I'd say Lowry's been the most impressive.
For Jets, who's for Jets for you then? Mine's Lowry.
I think Lowry.
We're all Lowry?
Lowry. Then Patan and Ehlers are kind of level for me, and then Morrissey would be
okay.
I think, we're pretty much all there.
Yeah.
NHL, I know he's not technically... I don't think he'll make the team this year, but just because I've seen a couple games so far, Travis Sanheim, Philadelphia.
The Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, he's been good, but I think there's another guy.
Okay.
Damn. I don't know who, 65 right now for the Caps. I don't know the kid's name. They just drafted him.
Kucherov?
No. That kid from the Caps that isn't Kuznetsov.
While we're talking about the Caps, did you see their Winter Classics?
Oh, yeah. I like them.
They're not bad.
Yeah.
You just hate any jersey, though, that's not.
No, those
hate.
Those
I don't think I've ever heard Dan say he likes a jersey.
We've talked.
Besides the Jets
we've
ones?
talked about
Besides
in this
Jets.
podcast the nicest jerseys in the league.
Have we?
Yeah.
Who?
There's lots of jerseys that are nice. Those ones are hideous, though. My
I
God.
like them.
Any New Jersey? He doesn't like the new Philadelphia jerseys, doesn't he?
Yes, I did. I said it looks like the Winter Classic, but I like the Winter Classic.
Because they are the
Greg
Winter
can't
Classic.
read.
Yeah. Have you seen the Flyers new Flyers pens?
Those are nice.
90 throw. There you go.
Wow. Okay.
See? I don't remember.
Okay.
See, Dan just.
I always.
No,
Greg's
Dan just
fucking-
doesn't like. I could definitely see how you wouldn't like it for sure. Like, I won't buy that jersey.
I'm not a
if
fan.
it's given to me as a gift, I will accept it.
It looks
But I'm
like
not
one of
buying
those
it.
really ugly 80s jerseys that existed.
That
back
everyone's trying to bring
Yeah.
back the retro
Ugh.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
90s are okay.
Rookie I'm impressed with. So Lowry for the Jets.
Oh, damn it! No!
No, I get him.
No,
I get him.
Yes.
You guys can't say the same thing. It makes for a
Go.
boring podcast.
No, I know what he's going to say because he tried teeing me up and I mind blanked.
We all know what's
Who is
coming.
the rookie you're most excited about, Gregory?
Joffrey Nylander. Oh, wait. Nylander. William.
A young Leo.
He's so amazing.
Mama. Woo! That saucer passing game one. That was awesome.
He looks like he's got a lot of promise. However, I
Is he gonna
don't
have
know if
Scheifele
he's going to
syndrome,
play.
though?
I don't know if he's going to play for this team this year.
'Cause he
I
could,
was like,
he could have Scheifele syndrome. Remember how good Scheifele looked in the preseason?
Okay, hold on.
Against
He looked good the
Columbus.
whole. No, he looked good.
It
the
was
whole
Columbus.
He scored. No, he looked pretty good.
Don't
the
you
preseason.
even use that argument because he played the Flyers, you son of a beat. But how fitting is it that last time there was this much touted excitement about a rookie in Leafs land was Luke Shen, where he had the size but not the skill to really command in the NHL. Now the tables are turned. Nylander doesn't have the size, but he has the skill.
You can make it in the NHL.
Is that a
I think.
comparison you want to make though? Because Shen's not even there anymore.
No. That's what I'm saying for
No, yeah, I get it.
excitement wise.
Yeah.
That's the last time I could think of a rookie because who was their first round pick 2 years ago? Frederick Gauthier.
They have Frederick
Was that
Gauthier,
last
Tyler
year?
Biggs. Last year was Gauthier.
Well, I'm glad the management is fixing that course because Frederick Gauthier, he was the guy on Team World Juniors. I'm sorry, Frederick Gauthier. Everyone's like, wait, who the hell is this kid?
Why is he
Where
here?
did he come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tyler Biggs has been a bust, unfortunately. So
far.
yeah, it's nice to see Willie Nylander there and playing well.
Closing words.
Closing words. Dan, go ahead. What are your closing words?
Because next time we do this, the Jets will be playing their 5th preseason, 6th preseason.
Yeah,
Colby
they play
just
a
had
couple
his
next
closing
week.
words.
It's fun to actually argue about real hockey games, though.
It is
Yeah.
nice. You know what? My closing words, I'm thankful hockey is back and that we can watch it. And you know what? I've even watched, who did I see highlights? No, I've watched highlights of a Panthers game and I was excited.
You know what? I would say yes. I will just your appreciation that hockey's back. We may bitch and complain about the Jets and how they lose and how they're going to be terrible and whatever. But you know what? There's 82 hockey games where a Winnipeg team is playing, so I'm not going to complain.
Exactly. Greg?
I think closing words for me are, thank you, gentlemen, for coming last night to the Jets game. It was awesome to have. I think it was the first time I've had more than 2 people I knew sit with me for a Jets game, which was awesome. And
It was fun.
yeah, it's
was
still.
fun.
I said it probably 4 times last night. It's still surreal to have an NHL team in the city. And if you're from Winnipeg and you're listening to this, I want to know if you still think it's somewhat surreal that we have an NHL team here. And if you don't know what the word surreal means, go look it up in a dictionary, and you'll learn a new word for the day.
Did you guys check the social media?
Yeah, there's nothing. We're not popular.
What was
guys.
his name?
Brett
He
talked
didn't
last
listen?
week.
Yeah, but we asked him another question. I asked him who's going to win the Stanley Cup.
He
can't
probably
just-
doesn't like you, Dan.
Well,
He probably doesn't like us because we only called him out. Maybe it's because
maybe he's
he
a little
only
sore because
listens.
the Wild lost to the Jets on Monday. Maybe that's
Oh, shots
Yeah.
fired.
Yep, there you go.
There you go.
to be. No, it's not really a
Friend
shot.
of the show. Friend of the show.
Yeah,
It's-
friend of the show.
It's not really a shot when our NHL team beats their AHL team. That's pretty embarrassing for us.
Yeah, El Nino almost single-handedly beat us.
Hey, he was good.
Yeah.
He looked good.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. See you next week.